Good morning, good morning. Welcome to today's coffee chat. Well, today I'm so excited because it's another cookbook review day. So welcome to anybody who is new to the channel here. Each week I share with you, I invite you into my kitchen for a cup of coffee and a casual chat about anything related to food and nutrition. So I talk about nutrition tips, I bust nutrition myths, I'll point out things that I've seen in the grocery store that I think are great. And now, once a month, I also do a cookbook review. I know it seems like cookbooks, what an old school thing. But what I find in working with so many clients is that people are always asking me for recipes. And you know what? We live in a Google world, right? You have a million, I don't even know, a million, I'm sure it's cutting it short, but we have infinite number of recipes at our fingertips. And yet we're always looking for recipes. And what I really think it's about is that it's just completely overwhelming to have every recipe of every kind at our fingertips. It leads us to feel overwhelmed, which then just stops us in our tracks and we stay stuck in a rut. And so I find that a cookbook is the perfect antidote to that. There's new recipes, inspiration. However, there's a finite amount of recipes, so we don't get overwhelmed. So it gets us into movement. It keeps us moving forward. So that's why I love a cookbook, and I know that you folks have been enjoying the cookbook reviews as well. I've been hearing back from a lot of people saying how much you love these. So thank you for that feedback, and I'm happy to keep going with doing cookbook reviews. I do want to make sure that you always get an invitation to join me here in my kitchen, and so please click the subscribe button below and hit the little notification bell so that you always receive your invitation for each week when I do a new video. So what book am I reviewing today? What cookbook? Ooh, it's this one here. Get a nice close look for you. It's the Easy 5-Ingredient Pescatarian Cookbook by Andy DeSantis and Michelle Anderson. This cookbook, I loved. Well, as soon as I saw it announced that it was coming out, I pre-ordered it on Amazon. And if you, after my review, say, yep, this is a good idea cookbook for me, I'll include a link in the description box below for how to click on through and keep yourself in action to be ordering your copy. But when I saw that Andy was announcing that he had this cookbook out, I jumped into action and pre-ordered it myself through Amazon. I don't know Andy directly, I don't know Andy personally, but he's a dietitian back east, I think, Toronto maybe. But I've been following his Instagram for years. Love his Instagram. If you like food, hey, you're watching this coffee chat, so obviously you love food. But if you love food and also you have like a witty and kind of cheesy sense of humor, then you're going to love Andy's Instagram. So I'll include a link to that in the description box below as well. I'm just giggling even thinking of some of his posts. He's got really quite cheesy, fun, witty posts there that just, totally tickle me. But anyways, getting to the cookbook. I gave the cookbook a thorough review, and just to be super transparent, I want to be really clear that I did buy the cookbook with my own money. This is not a sponsored post. My loyalty is always to you, so I give the cookbooks a really thorough review. I cook up, I think in this case, over a dozen recipes because I want to really test them to figure out, do I want to recommend this cookbook? Is this cookbook recommended by me? So I like this cookbook for a few different reasons. First of all, let me describe what the title means. So the 5-Ingredient Pescatarian Cookbook. So pescatarian means that this cookbook includes recipes that are vegan, that are vegetarian, and that includes seafood. So there are no poultry, no meat recipes in here. And also it's really built around quite an interesting concept of the 5 ingredients. So all of the recipes are based on a few kitchen staples: olive oil, garlic, onion, salt, and pepper, and then only 5 other ingredients. So super practical, super convenient, perfect for quick weekday dinners. And really, that's what this whole cookbook kind of has the vibe of, the feel of. It's a bit of a skinnier cookbook. It's a soft cover. Most of the recipes don't have a picture, so it's kind of your workhorse. It's practical, approachable, doable recipes. And I love that. You know, some of the other cookbooks that I've reviewed, and I'll include links to those videos in the description box below. Some of them are beautiful, beautiful pictures, hardcover. You almost think of them like a coffee table book, which is awesome. I love those types of books. But you know what? Sometimes you just want a quick and dirty recipe. You don't want, and some people feel intimidated by those beautiful cookbooks and they think, oh my God, there's no way I can live up to that standard. Where this is like your pedestrian, practical, weekday workhorse cookbook. And the whole kind of vibe is around that, which I really like. We need to have some practicality in our lives too, right? Because you got to put dinner on the table every day. So I quite like it for that. There starts off with a little bit of a brief introduction of what is pescatarian, and then the cookbook is organized like this. Let me get to the little table of contents here. So the chapters are breakfast, soups and salads, snacks and sides, pasta, rice and grains, beans and legumes, fish and shellfish, and of course desserts. So a great overview, and as I said, great focus for if you are vegetarian or vegan and needing some new recipes, or you're kind of tiptoeing into being more plant-based, doing a little bit of Meatless Monday, that sort of thing, and you want to know what the heck to do instead of doing poultry or meat for some protein dishes, some full meals that don't involve those things, as well as, of course, a nice big chapter on fish and shellfish. So I'm going to go to my little notes here because I want to make sure that I did all of my thorough review, so I want to make sure that I hit all the points in our video here today. Okay, so of the recipes I tried a number of recipes. A couple different soups that I totally loved, a carrot soup and a garam masala cauliflower soup. Both of them were vegan, both delicious. I tried the dill potted salmon, and that was a great recipe. Love that recipe, particularly, the holidays are coming, and I could totally see this as a great dish if you're doing some entertaining, either if you're having kind of a cocktail event or maybe a brunch. Be beautiful, or an appetizer. It would also make a great potluck dish if you're invited out to a potluck type of gathering. Thought that was great. And it highlights something that I loved about this cookbook, that for the fish and shellfish recipes, it had a great emphasis on canned seafood, tuna, salmon. In this case, this was a canned salmon recipe, sardines, anchovies, herrings, all those little fish. I love that it had that emphasis on those fish, because many people, we just go straight to the salmon, we go straight to the halibut, straight to the sole, which are great choices, but we want to branch out. And a lot of these sources of seafood just really aren't appreciated. They're underappreciated, and especially like the canned ones can be a great budget-friendly seafood option. And so I loved that this cookbook had a lot of a strong emphasis on those underappreciated seafoods. So the dill potted salmon, great recipe. The two soups that I tried, fantastic. A real strength in this cookbook were the pastas. I don't know about you, but pastas are a real go-to for me for a quick weeknight meal. And I've been stuck in a bit of a rut making kind of the same pastas. And so this was a good option to kind of try a few new ones, but it was still pasta. Still felt really safe, really easy, really within my repertoire. And so some great options there. I tried the lemon tuna farfalle, although I admit I used elbow macaroni noodles, so technically not a farfalle, but still a great recipe. The asparagus sardine fettuccine was a great one. And then one that I tried that kind of blew my mind, to tell the truth, was a pasta with balsamic vinegar and radicchio. Now, I am well versed in vegetables. If you've followed me for a while, I have a huge love of eating a wide variety of vegetables. But I admit radicchio wasn't one that I really paid any attention to. I kind of jumped right over it in the grocery store. wasn't really comfortable trying it. So when I saw that this had as a pasta, something I feel totally comfortable doing with radicchio, oh, I knew I had to try that one. And you know what? I've made it a number of times since. This is totally a new recipe in my repertoire. I love it. I mean, balsamic vinegar, I'm all over it with anything. And then I admit that, well, I did break the kind of 5 ingredient rule, because when I made it subsequently, I made it with some chickpeas one time and with some tofu another time, so that I had a protein source to make that pasta dish a full meal. Because when I make a pasta, it's my entire dinner. So I loved that radicchio pasta dish, and thank you to Andy and Michelle for including that one and introducing me to radicchio. So thank you for that. Couple other recipes that I tried. I tried the navy bean anchovy broccoli toss. That was a good recipe. And then a couple of the desserts I tried. I tried the coconut quinoa pudding, delicious. The sweet potato cinnamon parfait, that was a big hit. Now I cut back the sugar significantly in both of them. Both of them included maple syrup, and I did cut that way back, and they were still delicious. So loved those. And then there was a couple of recipes, 2 recipes that I tried that I admit I didn't care for. Now, one of them was a mushroom pecan wild rice dish. And I admit I made a couple of different substitutions in that recipe. I'm very prone to doing that, so I jumped kind of with things that I happened to have on hand there, and the recipe didn't work very well. So I'm not going to say that that recipe is a dud. I'm going to try that one again, following the actual directions as it's written, and not kind of using it as a jumping off point, as sometimes I'm prone to do. So that I can give it another chance, because maybe the substitutions I made just weren't very workable for it. And then there was another recipe, a coconut salmon recipe that I made, that I can tell it's one of those recipes where it's kind of a crowd dividing recipe. There's nothing wrong with the recipe. It's not a dud by any means, but it's going to be one of those dishes that people are either going to totally not like or they're going to love. I had 3 people, 2 others plus myself, try that one. Old past colleague, longtime friend, and we both didn't care for it, but my sweetheart tried it and he enjoyed the recipe. So the coconut salmon, I'm not going to say the recipe has a problem. It really is just one of those recipes that some people are going to love, some people aren't going to like, and I just happen to have the taste buds that I didn't care for that one. So that's a summary of some of the different recipes that I tried. As you kind of hear overall, yes, this cookbook is definitely Kristen approved. It has a lot of great choices. Who I think this would be a great cookbook for are for people, as I said, looking for, you're busy, you want some new ideas for quick weeknight meals or quick rushed night meals. That's going to be a great cookbook for that. If you are vegan, vegetarian, and you're looking for some new ideas, if you're omnivorous, but you're kind of wanting to incorporate more plant-based meals into your life, this is a great cookbook for that. Same with if you're looking to expand your seafood ideas. But who I really think this is going to be a perfect cookbook for are people who are kind of beginner cooks. Maybe you have a young person who's moving out on their own for the first time. This will be a great present for them. Or maybe they're yourself or someone in your life, you've mostly been relying on eating out, you really didn't do much cooking, but you're wanting to kind of turn the leaf and have a new habit of doing more cooking for yourself, but you're not very confident in the kitchen yet. This is a great book for you. So a great cookbook for the busy person and the novice chef. So I'm going to let you see it again. That's my review of the 5-ingredient pescatarian cookbook. And yeah, I'm going to have a little link below to, if you want to stay in action, to go ahead and purchase that today. If you like today's video, let me know. Give me a little thumbs up. And I've got, I'm so excited, a whole bunch of other cookbooks in the queue. I'm going to be doing these cookbook reviews once a month. So it's great to have you join me here today. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday morning.